Hello, I am Parva Shailesh Kumar Patel and my admission number is U19CS001. My contribution to this seminar was that I wrote the code for the first algorithm, that is naive recursive algorithm. I help in making a PPT which also includes making pseudocode and analyzing the time complexity. I also drafted the documentation come report.
I am Sumit Sanjay Kamble. My admission number is U19CS026. My contribution to this seminar was that I helped in making the PPTs as well as the subcomponents which are used in this PPT like pseudocode and time complexity analysis, and I also drafted the final video.
I am Jinil Jigar Kumar Thakkar. My admission number is U19CS025. Contribution to this seminar was I wrote the code for the second approach, which uses the backtracking algorithm to solve the problem, and I help in recording the explanation of the presentation for this seminar.
I am Patel Yash Maheshbhai. My admission number is U19CS030. My contribution for the seminar was I wrote the code for third approach, that is BFS algorithm, to solve the problem. I also helped in recording the explanation for the seminar. The links of all the references used in the presentation as well as the GitHub repository are attached in the report. Thank you.
Greetings everyone. This is the presentation by group having members roll number 1 Parva Patel, roll number 25 Jinil Thakkar, roll number 26 Sumit Kamble, and myself roll number 30 Yash Patel. The presentation will be covered in two segments such that first segment will be covered by me and the second segment will be covered by Jinil. We have chosen a real world application based problem known as M coloring problem. Let us see the problem statement. For this, we need the following input as number of vertices, number of colors, that is M, number of edges, and two vertices representing the edge between the given two vertices. The output for the following problem will be given as below. If the solution exists, then we will print that solution exists and print the color order of the vertices, and if it is not possible to solve the problem using M colors, then we will simply print that solution does not exist. We have solved the following problem using three algorithms, that is simple recursion, backtracking, and using BFS, that is breadth first search. For simplicity purpose, we have used the following example for all the three algorithms. Let us study the simple recursion approach first. Here we have provided M equals to 3. Therefore, for visual representation, we have chosen red representing color 1, blue representing color 2, orange representing color 3. As we have provided the number of vertices equals to 10, we have a color array of size 10 in which all the elements are initialized to 0, which represents the colorless property of the vertex. We are given a binary matrix of graph n cross n in which the element at index I, j represents that there is an edge between I and j. As discussed earlier, there will be a graph array of size n cross n and a color array of size n. We here also assume that there is a print solution function which prints the array. First of all, let us discuss the recursive function of graph coloring. This function takes input in form of an 2D array graph which represents the relation between the vertices, the M which represents the maximum colors to be used, the index I which represents the index of the vertex, and the color array of size V which represents the color of every vertex. First of all, we will check that if I equals to V, that is the index is the last element of the array, we will check that is the graph safe. Here safe means that are all the adjacent vertices having different colors. If it is so, then we will print the solution and return true. If it is not safe, we will return false. And if the index is not the last element, here we will iterate through every possible color and set the color property to j, and recursively call the graph coloring problem for the next vertex and check if it is true, then this function will also return true, or else if it is false, then we will set the color of index to colorless. Similarly, if every iteration results false, then we will return false, that is, the solution does not exist for this problem. Here this is the isSafe function, which checks that are all the adjacent vertices having different colors. If it is so, then it will return true, or else it will return false. The driver function will first call the graph coloring function having index starting from 0, and if the function returns false, then we will print that solution does not exist. Let us look at the visual representation of simple recursion algorithm. As discussed earlier, we are recursively calling every index till it has not reached the last index of the array, and setting the vertex color to the default 1. Therefore, we are iterating through element 1. We will set the color to 1, that is red. We will set 2 to red, we will set 3 to red, and so on till the last element is not reached. As soon as the last element is reached, it will call the isSafe function, which will return that the graph array is not safe. As it is not safe, we will set the color to colorless and iterate to the next color, that is blue, having index 2. Similarly, this will also return not safe. Therefore, again setting to the next color, which is orange, having index 3. This will also return not safe. Therefore, we will be at the previous index, that is 9, and iterate to the next color, that is blue, for 9, and then set the red color for 10. Now also it will return not safe. Therefore, we will set the next color to orange. As it is not possible to iterate through every possible outcome in this virtual representation, as the number exceeds 3 raised to 10 times in this case, that is the worst case scenario. Therefore, we have here attached the sum of the color array elements for the starting iterations, and till we get the perfectly colored graph. The final perfectly colored graph looks like this, and the final color order of the vertices is shown here. In simple terms, the algorithm is a brute force approach in which we try all possible outcomes, that is 3 raised to 10. Let us analyze the time complexity. As we are iterating through every possible combination, therefore we are calling m iterations n times. Therefore, the time complexity is m raised to n. Thus, from the pseudocode we also get that time complexity equals to O m raised to n. Here the space complexity is O n, which was due to the stack space of the recursive call. There is another example for a square having 4 vertices, and a maximum 2 colors can be used. Here also we get the time complexity of O m raised to n and space complexity of O n. Let us study the second approach known as backtracking. Here the assumption will remain same as of the previous approach for simple recursion. Let us look at the pseudocode. Here the recursive function is named as color graph recursive, taking input of graph matrice, the maximum number of colors, the vertex index I, and the color array color. First of all, it will check that is the index the last index of the graph. It is so, then it will return true, or else it will iterate through every possible color and check that is it safe to put that color on the vertex. If it is safe, then it will put that color and recursively call the function for the next index, and as soon as it returns true, the function will also return true, or else it will set the color of index I to colorless. And after iterating through every possible color, if there is no solution found, then the function will return false. This is the isSafe function, which takes input of graph matrix, the color array, the vertex V, and the color C of that vertex. The function will iterate through every possible vertex and check that there is edge present between the index and the vertex V, and if it is so, then it will check that is the color similar to the color C of the vertex. If both the properties are true, then the function will return false, or else it will return true. The driver function of the code calls the color graph recursive function for 0 index, and if it is false, then the driver function will print that solution does not exist, or else it will print the color array. Let us see the virtual representation of approach to backtracking. Here it will recursively call the 0th index, that is first vertex, and apply the default color and check is it safe. As we can see, it is safe, therefore it will put that default red color to that vertex. Now as soon as it move on to the second index, it will apply the default color to that vertex. As we can see that it is not safe for that vertex to have red color, therefore it will iterate to the next color and update it to blue. Now moving on to the third vertex, it will check that it is safe to put red color on that vertex. As we can see, it is not safe, therefore it will put next color, that is blue, on that vertex, and as we can see that blue is safe color for that vertex, it will keep that blue color and iterate to the next vertex, and so on till it reaches the last index of the vertex. And as soon as it reaches the last vertex, it will return true, and therefore we have reached the final possible outcome of that M coloring problem. As we can see, there is only a minor difference in the algorithm 2 of backtracking and algorithm 1 of naive approach, is that the backtracking algorithm checks the safe function before actually applying to that color, and algorithm 1 naive approach sets the color and then check for that safe function. Therefore the time complexity of average cases is improved in backtracking approach, but for worst cases the time complexity remains same for both the algorithm. So the final color array would look as shown here, and the visual representation would be as shown in the figure. As talked earlier, the backtracking approach works efficiently while trying every possible combination, which gives better results in average case, but the worst time complexity remains same, that is 3 raised to 30, or we can say m raised to n. Here the backtracking approach is tried for the previous example also, having a square of vertex 4 and maximum color to be used is 2. As we can see here also, the total number of combination tried would be m raised to n. Therefore the time complexity for the above approach would be O m raised to n, and the space complexity will be O n, because we are recursively calling the color graph recursive function n times. Therefore it requires O n space complexity. So that's it from my side. Now I am handing over to Jinil to take the rest of the presentation. Thank you.
Greetings, this is roll number 25 here, and I'll be covering the rest of the presentation. Here we'll talk about the third approach to the M coloring problem, which is BFS, breadth first search. Breadth first search is an algorithm which involves working with graphs. Here we have the assumptions that we have maximum of 3 colors. Here we have named them red, blue and orange for conveniency, and numbered them as 1, 2, 3 respectively. We'll be working with vertices, a class which we've created, and which will have the data of colors and a set of edges which will be represented by its adjacency list. So here we have created the class. As I mentioned, we also have a vector named visited, which will register whether we have visited a particular node or not, and we also have a function to print the color of all the vertices after we assign the colors. This is the function which will color the nodes, and it will take input of the vector of nodes and the number of nodes and the number of colors, the maximum colors which is. Now we'll iterate over from 1 to n, which is the number of nodes, and we'll keep on checking. If we visited the node, we'll not implement anything and we'll just continue to the next iteration. But if we have not visited it, first we'll mark it as visited, and then we'll declare a queue. We'll push this particular node in the queue, and while the queue is not empty, we'll set out a loop. Now first we'll capture the top of the queue, and after that we'll pop the element from the queue, and now we'll iterate over the edges, like we will iterate over the adjacency list of the captured top, so we get the vertices which are adjacent to the top. Now if the colors of both the nodes in comparison, the top and the iterable nodes in the list are same, then we'll update the color of the node in the adjacency list by 1, and we'll set the max color accordingly. We'll increment it accordingly. Now if we have not visited the node of the adjacency list, we'll mark it as visited, and then we'll again push it in the queue. This process will go on until and unless the queue is not empty. Here we have an example problem. This is the adjacency list, the input data, and initially we have assigned color 1 to every vertex. So we have the array visited, which is 0 for all the vertices as we are just starting, and now we'll iterate from 1 to n and we'll color the graph. So right now in our queue we have pushed 1, and we'll be looking at its adjacency list, which are the vertices 2, 3 and 6. We'll iterate through each of the vertices, giving them a color. So 2, 3 and 6. Now 3 of them have blue colors, which matches our initial condition that no two adjacent vertices should have the same color. Now as we have pushed 2, 3 and 6 into the queue, we already popped out 1 before that. So the current element, the current top of the queue is 2. So we'll work with 2, and we'll see its adjacent vertices from its adjacency list, which are 1, 7 and 8. 1 we have already processed. So now we'll be looking at all the others, and this way the process will go on. The colors of 1 and 2 are different, so there is no point in changing anything. Same goes for 7 and 8. Now the next one is 3 in the queue, and we'll be looking at its vertices. So we can see that all the 3 colors are different from 3, from the vertex 3. So there's no point in changing it, and same goes for 6. And while checking also, we are keeping on adding the adjacency list vertices in the queue, so as to implement our code, the one we saw earlier. And here we will be changing accordingly. We'll have to increment the max colors, and we'll be assigning the colors accordingly whenever we find 2 adjacent vertices with the same colors. Okay, so this is how it goes on, and we have the checking of 5th node and the 10th node. Now we can see that the queue is empty. So this was the first, I was equal to 1. This was the first iteration of the loop, which goes from 1 to n. Since the queue is empty now, so now we can move on to the next iteration, which is I equal to 2. But when we'll check that whether we have visited it or not, the first condition which I mentioned in the code, we'll see that we have already visited this node. Now as we go on further, I equal to 2 to 3 to 4 till 10, we'll see that we have already visited all these nodes, so there is no point in implementing the code after that. So here the program will terminate because the parental for loop is over now. You can see in the graph that we have already colored, and if the condition gets satisfied of the M coloring problem, that no two vertices should have, no two adjacent vertices should have the same color. Okay, here our program will terminate. Now we'll talk about the time and space complexity of the BFS approach. Here the BFS approach is to color each node from 1 to n by setting initially every color 1. Every node will have the color 1 in the beginning, and BFS will start at an unvisited node and cover all the connected components. Okay, so number of times each vertex is visited is 1. So V is the number of times the while loop runs, and the total running time would be the sum of all vertices of the adjacency list. Okay, so which would be 2e. And we will also touch every vertex to visit the edges connected to it. So the total running time comes out to be O of V plus E, big O of V plus E, where V is the number of vertices and E is the number of edges. Here the space complexity of the algorithm is O of V, where V is the number of vertices because we have to store the array, we have to store a register in which we mark that whether we've visited a particular node or not, right? This marks the end of time and space complexity of the algorithm. So here we have a comparison of the complexities of the three approaches, namely naive recursive, which is the brute force approach, the backtracking approach, and the BFS approach. The first two algorithms have the same time and space complexity. We've seen that backtracking performs better than the naive recursive approach in almost the average cases, but not in the worst case, because it is just a smart optimization of the naive approach itself. The time complexity of the both of them is big O of m power n, where m is the number of colors and n is the number of vertices. The space complexity is also the same, which is big O of n, where n is the number of vertices, and it is because we use a stack to implement these two algorithms. Talking about BFS, the time complexity of BFS is big O of V plus E, where V is the number of vertices and E is the number of edges, and the space complexity comes out to be big O of V, where we store a boolean if we visited the particular node or not. Let us consider an application of the M coloring problem. Suppose we are given a map of India, which has 28 states and 9 union territories. So in all 37 entities, or nodes if you may, which has 37 nodes, and we have to color such that no two adjacent nodes should have the same color. The maximum colors we can use are 4. So let us solve this problem using the BFS method. This is the input data that we can see. The state code and the neighboring states represents the node and its adjacency list, and these are the data for all the states and union territories. So as we saw in the code earlier, we'll be iterating through all the nodes from 1 to n, a parent for loop if you will, and if not visited, then we'll make it visited, and we'll mark it as visited, and we'll push it in a queue. Then we have to keep iterating over it till the queue is not empty, and we'll pop the element from the queue, and we'll iterate through the adjacency list of that particular element. If the vertex is not visited, then we'll add it to the queue and mark it as visited. If we'll check if the colors are same, then we'll increase the color of the latter vertex. When the queue becomes empty, we'll move on to the next node, and we've initialized all the entities to have a color 1. So this is the initial state. The visited array is 0 for every node, and the queue is empty. We have the map of India on our right side, and we'll be going through it with the BFS approach. So first in consideration is the 1, which is Jammu and Kashmir. So we have to push it into the queue. Then we'll consider the adjacency list of that particular state, that particular node, and then we'll pop 1 from the queue. Now we'll have to color it accordingly. Now since color of 1 and 2 is same, so color of 2 is increased by 1, and therefore we'll mark it as visited. So this way we will be coloring 2, 3 and 37. Now 1 was popped from the queue, and 2, 3, 7, the adjacency list of the node 1 was pushed into the queue. So now we have to again capture the top, which is 2, and we'll be repeating the same procedure, checking if the neighbors are of the same color, and if they are, then we'll update the color by 1 and mark them with that particular color, and then we will also push those adjacency list vertices in the queue, so which will have to repeat the process which we just discussed. So this way it will keep going on, and we'll mark the neighboring states. So this is how it goes. Here we found the queue was empty, so the first iteration of the parent for loop was over. Now we have to increment I, which will be 2 now, but as you can see from I, for I is equal to 2 to 30, 32 to 34, 36 and 37. They're already visited, so we don't need to perform these steps like we did for I is equal to 1. So since 31 and 35 are not visited, we'll push them into the queue. So So as you can see, we have completed the coloring, and we have colored all the states successfully with the condition that no two adjacent states should have the same color. This is the data, output data, with the color number and the state code respectively for all the states and the union territories of India. So this was a presentation on the popular computational problem known as the M coloring problem. The presentation was given by the group of roll numbers 1, 25, 26 and 30. Thank you.